Hey everybody, it's Bruce here, back with another video. It's going to be one on web accessibility today. And I wanted to go over something that's really important in accessibility, and that is color contrast. So on the screen here, you see just a magnificent web page that says "Hello World" right in the center of the screen, and you can see the words on the black background, which kind of look okay. But if you use a color contrast checker, and what I'm going to be showing you here is an extension for Google Chrome-based browsers, as well as Microsoft Edge and the Brave browser, and this is also available for Firefox, and it's called Wave. And I have the Wave extension installed, and I'll leave a link to it in the description. And as you can see, it did identify one alert here, which I'll talk about in a second. But look under contrast errors. So this may look okay to you and me, but the web has something called WCAG, Web Content Accessibility Guidelines. And these guidelines, which you can go look up on the web, and I'll leave a link to those in the description as well, define contrast ratios between text and background colors. And those particular ratios have to meet certain thresholds in order to meet those standards, those guidelines outlined by the WCAG, Web Content Accessibility Guidelines, right? So if I click on here, Show Details, you'll see that I have one contrast error, and it tells me here that it tells me why this is an issue, okay? And that it says right here, very low contrast between text and background colors. And why it matters is adequate contrast of text is necessary for all users, especially users with low vision, right? So a person like myself. So they tell you how to fix it. And let me just read that as well. It says increase the contrast between the foreground text color and the background color, large text larger than 18 point or 14 point bold, does not require as much contrast as smaller text. Now, this is very large text. And again, to that point, you can imagine that it's going to be a lot easier when fonts, right, font sizes, right, text is larger, because it's going to be a little bit easier to see for someone with low vision. However, smaller text, right, it's going to be very, very hard to read, especially fonts with lots of little serifs and stuff like that. So I'm just going to hop into my CSS. And by the way, this is just a very a very generic HTML page. In fact, that alert that came up before told me that the page really doesn't have any, let's just see what it says here. It says the exact issue that it has is no page regions, right? So there is no header, footer, navigation, main sections, or anything like that. So that's another issue for another day and time. And if you go back to a prior video I made, again, I'll put a link to it in the description. You can learn about that. So what I'm going to do is just go into my CSS. It's a very basic CSS, and you'll notice that the color right here on line 7, right, says it's a dark color, right? That's this color right here, right? So let's just make it like white, right? Which is there. We made it white. So I'm going to go back. You can see live server here updated my page, and I'm going to refresh now, and I'm going to reload the Wave extension, and notice that we don't have any more contrast errors. See, that's good, right? So let's just add some text here. Let me just add a paragraph, and I'll let's get 100 words of lorem ipsum text. And pardon my formatting and everything right now. I have this set to be a flexible box. So again, please excuse that. But look how small that text is. And let me just go back now and change the color in the CSS back to that 333, right? And notice how it is, somewhat readable here, even though it still fails the contrast ratios. But see how much harder it is to read here? So that's what you want to be aware of, all right? So install the Wave extension for Google Chrome or Firefox or Brave or Microsoft Edge. There isn't one for Safari at this time, and I will double check that. But again, color contrast matters. And as you'll learn in future videos, and if you're enrolled in any of my classes, that there are guidelines, right, for how to present various types of information in a web page, including color contrast, to the people who are going to use your particular website. All right. And again, I'm a low vision user. And when I see a site that doesn't have enough color contrast between various elements on the page, it could be a background and a graphic, it could be text and a background color, a whole bunch of different things, it makes it really, really difficult to use. So thanks for watching this video, and thanks to all of you new subscribers to my channel. If you haven't subscribed, you know what to do, right? Smash that subscribe button, like the video, leave a comment, and thank you again for watching. Have a good day.